What's up, everybody? This is
Go Radio Football Show. Good evening, Paul Cooney here with Scottish Gas. So a weekend when Celtic's defence of the SPFL title starts tonight, 7:30 against Dundee. That's 3 days after Rangers' new era under Derek McInnes started with a stutter 1-1 draw at Dundee United. And Hearts leading 1-0 at Pittodrie until the 90th minute. A familiar feel to it. They came away with nothing as the Dons scored twice. Wins for St Mirren, St Johnstone and Motherwell in this long weekend of Premiership action which finishes this evening. And this afternoon Celtic found out who they'll be playing in the Champions League qualifier, and it could hardly be tougher as Lask, the Austrian champions. Good evening, Paul Cooney here with Barry Ferguson and Charlie Mulgrew. Good evening both.
Right, Paul, how are you?
Yeah, great, thank you. No music at the start. I thought there'd be an anthem for you, Barry. There'd be Simply the Best on for you, whatever. Charlie, you'll never walk.
It's a Celtic song now,
You'll never walk again.
I heard that.
That's right, yeah. Listen, the new season's here. We've had it all weekend. Charlie, first of all then, Celtic in action tonight. Who is going to win the title? I'm going to ask Barry in a moment or two.
First of all, Paul, it was great to be back. It's great when the season starts back. It's been a long summer, enjoyed it, but it's good to have the football back. Looking forward to the game tonight. Early on in the season, I think there's going to be points dropped. I think we'll have a clearer picture when the window shuts. Rangers dropping points the other night. I know it's a kind of same old story for the last few years. They can't win their first game. But I think it's a given that Rangers are going to win a lot more games than they did last year. I think Derek McInnes, although they maybe not be brilliant in the eye and a clear sort of passing style of play, they'll win games. Derek McInnes has proved he knows how to win games, and they'll win more games than last year. I think Celtic have proved under Martin O'Neill they can win games. The window's going to be big, and looking forward to the season ahead. Tonight's going to be a good market to see where Celtic are in terms of their new signings coming in a couple of minutes doors, see what they play tonight, see what they're looking like, and early doors.
Loads to talk about with Charlie and Barry. Barry, first up, Rangers drawing at the weekend. I think most people thought they would go. They would start with a win at Tannadice. Who's going to win the title?
Well, I don't think you need to ask me that, do you? I think you know who I'm going to say. But in terms of the game on Friday, I think the word I'll use in terms of Derek McInnes, I think he'll be frustrated. I thought the first half, they never get going, Paul. He made a couple of changes at half time. They got that wee spark, that wee kick. They got the goal through Asgard. And then that 11-minute period, their tempo was really high. They put Dundee United under pressure. And then when you get that goal, to come back to one each, you're thinking, right, let's go and kick on and get a second or a third goal, and it never happened. And that's the thing that I'm sure that will frustrate Derek McInnes. You could see it in his face during the game. The camera panned to him a couple of times. He was tearing his hair out. I think there would have been a few words mentioned at half time after the game. They've got 5 days before the European game in Thursday night, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of work on the training ground and put a few of the wrongs right.
Charlie, what did you make of Rangers the other night? They lacked a creative spark. We know Rangers need more width, they need a winger, and they lacked a bit of pace.
It was the final action in the final attacking third. They just couldn't create the chance. You think back to the one where Chimiti goes through and he has a shot. It's clear as day for me. Pass it to Shanklin. Shanklin then puts it one more. Passes it one more time across. I can't remember who it was that was next there, or goes and shoots. Chermiti has a shot himself, and that's just the wee bits of quality that are missing for Rangers. I think Derek McInnes will recognise that and know that that's the area where he needs to strengthen.
08 17 17 700 was Barry. What does Charlie think about the window so far? Still, 4 weeks to go, but Rangers will strengthen. They've got 8 new players.
They have to. Yeah. Charlie just mentioned it there. Listen, it's glaring, and Derek said that in a few of these pressers now. They need to get the difference makers in the final third, and it's obvious that Derek's desperate to strengthen that. Now, listen, it's easy to say go and get them. If you're interested in players, the club has to be willing to sell, but he definitely needs people in the final third who are going to make a difference in that wee bit of pace. When I was watching the game on Friday, that's what they probably lack going forward, that bit of energy, that bit of drive. So that's something, listen, he's been clear about, that he wants to get in the door as quickly as possible.
And he wants players to go out as well, because we know about the financial fair play.
Yeah, listen, the squad, I think, is top heavy. I'm sure Derek would have had the chat with a certain amount of players to let them know that they would be available to go. But again, it's easy saying you need to get players out the door. Clubs need to want these players as well, Paul. So, like, I think there's still a fair bit of business for Rangers to do, but it's so important that Derek certainly gets the difference makers that are going to go and give you a bit of magic or come up with that vital goal.
Charlie, your old club Celtic, what do you think about the signing so far with 17 million up front, with Hugh being the second one, 11 million, and Camilo Duran the other?
Yeah, it's encouraging the start in terms of the two signings, but there needs to be more. Obviously, everybody wants them to be quicker, we all do, but Celtic notoriously take their time in the transfer market. Hopefully, can get through the Champions League qualifier without too much bother, because if you don't, again, it's going to be back to last year, pointing at why didn't we get the signings in earlier. I'm sure Celtic have got players they need to get out the door as well. But it's encouraging who's been linked and what kind of players that Celtic are looking at and what money they're looking to spend. I'm just, I think that it'll be a lot clearer when the window closes, because I think that the people will be out the door, people will be in the door, and they should be in a good position. They're just hoping that they get these people over the line. I mean, Martin's proved he can win games. He's proved he can do it with a squad that we all admit it wasn't a great squad last year, but he got them over the line. If Martin gets time to sign players, like he's proved his first two signings, although they've not done anything yet, it's encouraging.
See, they're going to improve the offer for Mika Bauer at Paderborn. You like the look of him?
Yeah, I do. A lot of energy, gets about the pitch, breaks up play, so intense. He would be somebody that would definitely add to the squad by the looks of it.
And Faris Gajema, who's been wanted, I think, by Rangers as well, Barry, that he could be going to Celtic, but would Rangers still be in for him, a winger?
Yeah. It's clear that Rangers definitely need guys out in the wing. It's a player that's been mentioned over the last number of weeks. There's been a number of players, but again, from a Rangers point of view, it is obvious to see. I've watched a couple of the pre-season games. Obviously, I watched the game in Friday night, and it's pretty vital that Derek gets them in the door as quickly as possible.
What a start for Motherwell. We'll go through all the teams, but great performance in Europe. And so often, Barry, it's difficult for the other provincial clubs in Europe. They did really well. They came back and they won.
I listened to the new Motherwell manager's interview, and he's not changed. He says he didn't need to change. He likes that style of play. He believes in that style of play. I watched the game yesterday, and again, they're a great watch. Yep, they take chances. You've seen with the Hibs goal from the penalty spot, they're playing out for the back, but again, it doesn't look it affects the players. Yep, they're disappointed to lose a goal. They just got on with what they're good at, and it looks as if they're going to carry on for what they done last season.
Incredible start.
It's interesting that they've went and got a manager in that's similar to Askew in terms of style of play, how he wants to play for the back. And Johansson showed that that's what he wants to do, and they could be another good watch. As you're listening, it's early days as well this season, but they've made a good start with a victory and a good performance, and let's see how they go. And
so much of the weekend was like the end of last season, Hearts faltering at the end. Rangers looking to do really well at Dundee United. The fans, they were with them all the way, Barry, and then they lost a goal. That'll happen. It's a long, long season, but there was such great expectations. But look at St Mirren winning at the weekend. Everyone, I think, worried about them this season, but a 2-goal win for them against Falkirk. Well done, Craig McLeish.
Yeah, good result. Falkirk, always a difficult place to go again. Lucky enough, all the games were live this weekend, so it was good to watch what the teams have done in terms of the business they've brought in and what style of play they're going to go with. I thought St Mirren were really good. I thought they thoroughly deserved the win. Before the game, if you asked me, I fancied Falkirk, but St Mirren surprised me. And it's a great start to the season for Craig McLeish.
They've defied the odds, haven't they?
Yep, completely different style of play compared to last year under Robinson. They want to play for the back, they want to play short, they want to play through the thirds. They've recruited players, which is good, recruited players along that style. And they went and beat Falkirk, who did that last year as well, although they could go long at times, Falkirk, but they like to play through the thirds. And it's a great start. The thing I worry about St Mirren, having seen them in the cup against Dunfermline, was their final third. Having all that possession is fine, 60-odd% possession, but they never created too much. But they went on and scored yesterday, so that they get the result. It's a good result for them.
And what a start for St Johnstone against Kelly. You think you're 3-2 up. I saw Neil saying it. I thought it was a great interview with Rob McLean. Obviously, exciting game, and Neil's like, I don't think so. No. But he said, look, we didn't deserve to win.
Yeah, listen, I like managers that are just straight to the point. They're not tiptoeing around about things. Look, Neil McCann was fuming, no doubt about it. He was bitterly disappointed. The command that I watched last year were a good watch. I thought Neil and Dodgy done a superb job. He wasn't happy at all. I know there's been a few players leaving. He's brought a few players in. But listen, they'll be a different team next weekend. That's for sure.
Of course. Charlie, for you?
I think St Johnstone will do well this year. I'm just basing it on Valakari. He had a style of play when they get relegated. He stuck to his style. He then goes down to the Championship, bounces straight back up. And I think they'll be similar to what Falkirk done last year, pushing for the top 6, might get there. I think they'll surprise a few people this year. And I think Kilmarnock also do well this year. So I think it was 2 teams that they're going to go on and have decent seasons.
0808 17 17 700. Loads of calls coming in. First up on the line, welcome for the new season, is Derek, the Rangers fan. Derek, good evening.
Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Charlie. Good evening, Barry. How are you?
How are you doing,
Derek? You had a good summer, Derek?
Even better with Scotland, the worst team in the World Cup, Paul, as I tell you.
Oh, you're a nightmare. That seems ages ago, mind you, doesn't it?
Oh.
It seems a while ago. Derek, do you want the Scotland job? Listen,
I think, Paul, they might struggle to get a half-decent manager because the players just aren't there, aren't they, really?
it's going to be a tough job.
Being 100% honest.
Yeah. So,
But Barry, why do you think Rangers haven't signed quality going forward? And some of the players that they have signed, I don't think they inspire you. I still think that they're very vulnerable in the back.
In terms of going forward,
Chermiti and Hernandez, they believe their own hype, I think. That was shocking defending in Friday night, especially from Hernandez.
Yeah, but in terms of like bringing players in, certainly in the forward areas, they're always the hardest players to get because there's a number of clubs. Look, I think if you've listened to Derek over the last couple of weeks, it's evident that he's desperate to get these players in, and I'm sure over the last couple of days he'll be on at his recruitment team. Listen, I need these difference makers through the door as quickly as possible. There's no doubt that we need a bit of pace going forward. We need a wee bit of magic that somebody's going to come up with in the final third. And I think certainly over the next week, Derek, I would be absolutely shocked if you don't see one or 2 of them coming through the door.
do you think some of the players have listened to the hype maybe at the end of the season? I know Fernandez...
Well, in terms of the goal, I know everybody's going on about the big man, but there's quite a few players there. See, when you lose the ball and you're running back towards your own goal, you've got to sprint. You've got to give it 100%. And a few of them are just jogging back.
How can you jog?
I don't know, but I'm sure when Derek looks back in the goal, he'll be fuming with that. And that's something that he would have identified. Listen, when they're in the following day, he'll be sitting down with him and saying, listen, if you lose possession, which is going to happen at times, you need to have that desire to get back in as quickly as possible. Charlie will tell you as a centre half, you're going to get spent at times. But when you get spent, and when you're running back towards your own goal, you sprint as fast as you can.
Charlie, were you surprised?
Yeah, I said it about Fernandez last year. He's got all the attributes. I mean, if you had to write down he's how high he can jump, how good he is in the air, how quick he is, how good he is in possession, you'd be like, oh, he's a perfect defender. But things you can't measure as a defender is sensing danger. And I don't think he senses danger quick enough, or he sees it quick enough because he relies heavily on his pace. And I think that he doesn't keep enough clean sheets for Rangers. That's what he's asked to do. As soon as Rangers go 1-0 up, he should be rubbing his hands as a Rangers centre-back saying, right, they don't score. That's my job. I need to organise the people in front of me. I need to make sure I defend this box. That's my job, nothing else. I don't think he's got that desire, as Barry said, to defend his goal. And he'll need to get it because as a defender, you need it.
And what a chance United had, late in the game. Randall,
I don't know what he's done there. He's got to slide it down the near post. The goalkeeper sees he's finished it. I don't know why he's tried to chip it. The pass is just on the side.
They get away with one there, Rangers. I don't know why. I mean, when you actually watch the replay and you're behind the Dundee United player, he could just slip it down the side of the goalkeeper. So Rangers definitely get away with one there. But yeah, I just looked back in the game in Friday, and I was expecting more, and I'm sure Derek would have been expecting more as well. And you could see the frustration, as I mentioned to you, Paul, on the sidelines and after the game when he was doing his interview. But I thought he was very straight, and that's the way you've got to be. Don't tiptoe around about things, be straight, and that's what he was. And I could imagine when they were in the next day, he would have went through the full game because there was a number of things that Rangers have to improve, and they have to improve quickly.
I also think in pre-season it's quite false. You see the players in training, you see them in pre-season games. They actually get a good look at them. You need to see competitive games. For me, Asgard doesn't do enough. I'm not fooled by his goal. It's a great goal, take nothing away from him. He done a couple of them last year, but that's not often enough. And even assists and creating chances, he's running about trying to look like a good player. When actually, when you look at the product, he's not given chances. There's not enough desire there to make sure the balls he's putting in the box are creating chances. Or I don't know. For me, Asgard's not the person that's going to get Rangers assists and goals this year.
I agree with Charlie. Look, pre-season's there for a reason. It serves a purpose, and it's to get you fit. It's when you're up and running. You need to be on your mettle the first game of the season. And I did expect more, like Derek, it's the caller just now, and many Rangers fans, but most importantly, Derek McInnes and the players, they'll be disappointed with Friday night's performance.
Derek, here's what your manager said about Asgard.
I thought we lost it with the game a wee bit first half. We tried to play him in the 10 and give him the opportunity to play off both sides and drift about, because I did think with Dundee United, anticipating them going on a full press, I thought then there would be more spaces for him to exploit. And when he did at times get into little pockets, he shows his touch and his composure and his quality. We played him more tucked in off the left-hand side second half, and I thought he was far more effective, to be honest. The boy deserves a lot of credit. You know, he could have took a longer rest after his exertions with the World Cup. I think he's took a lot of confidence for the World Cup, being involved with such a great effort for his country and playing his part. And obviously a goal against France, it shouldn't be. It's not easy, and I thought he made it look easy, and he probably felt at home in that environment. And it was great that he wanted to come back. He said to me, he only needed 5 or 6 days, and he wanted to come in and get his hands dirty and get going again. So that sort of attitude and approach needs rewarded, and hopefully rewards us with a lot of big performances this season.
Derek, what are you thinking overall, though? Because we haven't spoken to you since May. Obviously, Lon Shanklin signed, and then the manager came across, and then 7 other signings. What do you feel overall about the chances of winning the title? Because that's what you, Barry, said. Look, Rangers will win it. Hopes they'll win it. What do you feel?
I said to you, Paul, if you remember, at the last window, if Rangers didn't sign 2 quality wingers and a proper number 10, then Rangers won't win the league, and I'll say the same again this season.
Derek, I was going to ask you, what do you think of the recruitment so far? I know, listen, it's crying out for a couple of wingers, but what's that?
I think it's been poor, Barry. Barry and Lawrence Shanklin, I think the signings have been poor.
Cammy Devlin?
I don't see the point. I don't see the point in Cammy Devlin. I don't see the point in. I think Cammy Devlin's a downgrade in Raskin. McCrory's a big downtake. I don't know why he's even back to the club. He wasn't good enough the first time. I think the recruitment's been poor. Godfrey's injury prone there again right away. Sterling's not good enough at right back. I just think the recruitment so far has been dreadful.
That's a concern.
I think Rangers could be in for another dreadful season if they don't get the quality that's required. The Celtics get out and signing £12 million strikers, and Rangers are buying mediocre players that weren't good enough in the last time.
That's a concern, Godfrey, pulling up straight away.
Limped off.
Limped off. I don't know how long. There's been no word from Rangers. I'm sure you'll hear tomorrow or Wednesday when Derek does his presser before the game in Thursday. But yeah, it's crying out for a couple of, I keep saying it, guys who are going to come up with that bit of magic in the final third. And a bit of pace. You need ball carriers. You need at least one ball carrier in your team, and Rangers don't have that at this moment in time. But again, Derek's been open and honest about that, understanding that he needs to get that in as quickly as possible.
Will the money be there for example?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll back him. Yeah, but I'm 100% convinced that they'll back him. Of course, people still need to go out the door.
Yeah.
There's 8 players in, there's 11 players went out. I'm sure there's a number of players that are still in there that they'll look to offload. But there's still room. I think Rangers will look to do 3 or 4 more. Do
you think Czerny will be one of them? He was your player just over a year ago.
I think you have to look at a player like that. I don't know what valuation Besiktas are going to put on him, but they bought him for €5 million last, I think it was August. I mean, that was an absolute snap. Listen, he would frustrate you at times, Vaj, but what Vaj done, he come up with big moments in games. And that's what you need. And I call them difference makers. And that's certainly what what Charlie was. I'm sure Rangers are exploring the opportunity, but I don't know if it will be too expensive, because I don't know what Besiktas obviously rate, what value him at. Sorry, should I say?
Well, he's obviously proven and done it before with Rangers. You look at the players out there, it's not easy to go out there, and even spending. Olsen was considered to be somebody that would be a definite success at Rangers, rated at £8 million or £9 million, and he done nothing. It's no easy to come in and play for Celtic and Rangers and take that pressure on your shoulders. So it's hard to recognise a player that can do that. Czerny's obviously one of them, so he would be somebody. Even Mikey Moore, who was young, he came in, took time to get going. He'd be another one that would be good for Rangers to get, but whether they can get him or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's no easy to get the players, and that's why they require big money.
And I'm looking forward to Dragojevic. Listen, highly thought of in Serbia, Partizan captain. I know he's young, he's only 20, but listen, he's captained Partizan, who are a big club. But again, listen, he's a central midfielder. They're pretty overloaded in that area. But again, I agree with Derek. The caller, Rangers do need certainly players in the wide areas who are going to give you that bit of pace and that bit of magic in the final third.
Are Rangers fans going to see Nico Raskin play again? I mean, I think most people think he will be sold, but there hasn't been any word yet about where he might go.
It's went quiet. Listen, his last game, I think, was on the 10th of July in the quarterfinals against Spain. We're now 3 weeks further forward. I would imagine that Nico would be in. I don't know. I don't know the situation. Listen, he had a good World Cup. His prices or his values certainly went up that bit. I honestly don't know whether Nico's wanting to move or Nico's wanting to stay. But again, there's going to be a lot of interest in him. There's a lot of rumours, Villarreal, some teams in, I think Bologna was another one in Italy. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that one.
Derek, listen, thanks a lot for your call. Speak to you soon. 0808 17.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Derek. 17 17 700. We're just 2 hours away, Charlie, from kick-off for your old team Celtic. We'll get your thoughts shortly. We'll hear from Martin Neal. We'll hear a bit from Derek McInnes as well. And we're going to take more of your calls next.
The Go Radio Football Show with Scottish Gas.
We've been the Commonwealth Games City. Charlie, you've been round the town. You're a man who is often round the town. Great to see people from all over the Commonwealth coming into Glasgow. And we did so well as the host nation, stepping in when the Australians had to pull out 18 months ago.
Yeah, brilliant to see. I know a couple of things are missing from it. I heard, but no, it's good. I've not been to see any, Paul. I'd like to go and see it. I like watching athletes that have dedicated their life to their profession. I'd like to go and see a bit of it. I seen a bit of it last time and hopefully can get along to it.
But well done, Glasgow. Great closing ceremony last night, topped by Simple Minds.
Was it done?
I saw Jim last night. But it finished last night. I thought you were saying that. I was going to wind you up and say, I'll get you tickets for tomorrow.
I thought it was still on.
Charlie was still on. Charlie was about to go during the week.
That was why I see the 200 metre backstroke.
Barry, Simple Minds were brilliant last night. Alive and Kicking, one of your favourites.
I never seen it, Paul. I've been brutally honest with you.
Delta Goodrum as well. Sandy Tom.
You put Charlie under a bit.
Charlie, it's the summer of 2026, the new season. You had a good summer, yeah?
Oh, but great summer, amazing. Just missed the Commonwealth backstroke. That's the one thing that was missing from my summer.
Barry, you love your summer holidays as well. You work hard during the year.
Listen, I've
enjoy a break.
I've had a good couple of months, but I'm just you get to a stage where you're just. I know the World Cup was on, and I'll be honest with you, I never took too much an interest in it. Obviously, you want to see Scotland do well, we get a good start, and then it just wasn't overall.
Can we have a wee discussion about this?
Overall, I just didn't think we get going at all. Our bigger players just never performed at the levels.
So why are we the only nation? So when I watch a World Cup, right, I don't know if you agree with me, right? I see us turning up for games, and it's as if we're always thinking about the outcome. Can we just get through? Can we? Let's just get through. And it got to the point where we were thinking, even if we just get beat, will we still get through? I look at other teams and I feel like they go and try and take part. They go and try and win player of the tournament. They go and try and do something a bit special. We try almost, it's like a boxer getting in a ring and covering up and saying, is it done yet? Have I won? And so we don't take part in the tournaments.
And do you know what I keep hearing as well? Oh, we're a small country. Look at the other countries. An example, Norway. I know they've got Haaland, who's world class, right? Sure. But they're the same size of country as us. And we tend to use that as an excuse. I think overall, in terms of our development of young players, we really need to have a serious look at it. I think it's tired, the system we've got in Scotland.
We're chasing our tail. I don't think we're getting anywhere.
No, it's not working.
We've tried these schools. It's not really worked. I see some of them are closing down as well. We really need to get it right, because I do honestly believe at 14, 15 there's a lot of talented players up here, but how do we nurture them? How do we get players coming through on a regular basis, through at Rangers, through at Celtic, Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen? I don't think we see enough of it, and it's something that we seriously need to get a grip about.
We had the Dutch boy, and I can't remember with SFA what his name was. He started the schools, didn't he? What was his name? And he left. And it's like we're always copying other nations to see what they do. Why don't we just come up with our ideas that fits our culture? Now, what is our culture? You know, let's embrace that. I mean, look at the Argentinians, look at the Spanish. They sort of play to what their culture's like. I mean, I don't know what that look like for us. Maybe turning up half cut with a kilt on or something.
Why don't you go for the job, Charlie?
Maybe aggression, a bit of a laugh. We're a good. We're a country that likes a bit of wit and stuff. Maybe we can add that in. I don't know how you would do that.
But you're right.
You know,
we're in a straitjacket, and you're right. We're like, oh, maybe they hate you. Maybe that one goal might just be enough for us.
We were actually looking to get beat to get through. That's ridiculous.
But in terms of how we as a football nation, we need to seriously look at the system we've got up here. I don't like it. I think we need to. I think it's went tired. It's went stale. We need to come up with a system that's going to help and encourage young players to come through and become international players.
I've watched a lot of youth football, right? Because I watched my son for the last 5 years, whatever. And I'm seeing us now a lot of games at youth level, and it's gone goalkeeper, centre half, centre half back to goalkeeper, centre half to the other goalkeeper. And teams, I think they're doing well because they're having possession, but they're not going anywhere. It's madness. It's so robotic. Well, as if we're trying to copy Spain or something, but we don't actually know what they're doing. But we've went, that's good. Let's have possession, and we're not. For me, it's we're
And
miles away.
You know what, Charlie? You're bang on, and every team plays the same way. Are very similar.
Yeah. But Barry, you had the chance to come through 15, Rangers captain by what you were 20.
Look,
There's not enough into getting that route now.
I just thought the system
foreign
back
players.
then, the system, because there was a reserve team.
Yes.
So basically, the first team would play on a Saturday and a Sunday, and then the reserve games would be on a Monday. So the players who'd never played in the first team at the weekend would play in the reserve team alongside some of the younger players like myself. So I was playing with guys who had 200, 250, 300 senior games behind them, but also when I was playing against Hearts, Hibs, whoever, I was playing against guys similar. So I was getting best of both worlds. And I just look at it now when they're playing 18s or B team football, as it was called. They're playing the same boys as we were playing 6-7 years before.
Every week, same players.
It's monotonous. It's the same thing, and we need to do something different.
Charlie,
we don't produce enough players. We do not produce enough players.
There's not enough opportunity. There's not, because you can completely understand the managers. They're under pressure and they need to win games, fine. But there needs to be some sort of rule brought in. I know St Mirren this year are trying to bring through academy players, 3 or 4 players get playing in the cup, the Premier Sports Cup. So you'd imagine they'll maybe play in the league. We'll see. But I think the rule needs to be brought in place, because you see boys when they do get a chance, like you look at Colby Donovan, for talking sake. He had 2 injuries in his right back position, and he was next in line and he got brought in. But that was a bit of luck, because there was injuries in front of him. But there's boys there that I think at different clubs that need opportunities. They need to be sent on loan early for me, and then be given opportunities. Easier said than done, sitting here, but there needs to be something put in place.
I don't mind, in terms of Rangers and Celtic and other Premier League clubs, they've got partnerships with lower league teams. I like that, because they're going out and they're playing against they're playing maybe with part-time players, that guys who have got good, decent experience. I do like that, but in terms of our overall system, we need to really change it and sit down and bang our heads together, and ask everybody about their opinions and what do they believe in, because as I said, I just don't think we produce enough top class players.
What do you think? At home,
again,
give us a call.
it's always an excuse. Oh, we're a small country.
Aye.
But you
Look
look
at
at the
Cape
evidence.
Verde coming in
Exactly.
from nowhere.
There's other nations that were in the World Cup that have got the same kind of population. Croatia, for instance. There's another nation who produce top class players.
I think as well, when you look at the World Cup, we're in between a couple of styles. So when we played against Brazil, you could clearly see there was a message to play for the back a bit, because they started to play short passes for the back. It started early with Jack Henry. Then McKenna gives a goal away. Jack Henry gets away with one, and you're thinking, if we want to play for the back, there needs to be more preparation and more sort of training on that. Plus, you need to play the players that can play. Scott McKenna's, no disrespect to him, he's no brilliant in possession. He's a safety first defender. Jack Henry is, but you need 2 of them to be. Angus Gunn isn't great with the ball at his feet. He's all right. The goal comes for Angus Gunn, try to give it to McKenna. McKenna gives it away. You need to have it. We would have better gone 4-4-2. No short goal kicks. Play everything long, and let's fight everybody. Let's match the energy of the Tartan Army, and let's get in people's faces and play for set. I mean,
because that's our DNA.
There needs to be something.
Play to your strength. I'm a big believer in play to your strengths. And that's certainly a big strength of our national team, I believe, is getting the ball forward, playing the opposition half, because we've got good, strong players. But yeah, it was disappointing in terms of the 3 games. Look, I know you're coming up against Morocco, who are a very good team, no doubt, but we've got to give a bit more.
70 seconds, Barry. We go behind.
But we're shooting ourselves in the foot. There's no doubt about it.
It's mad. Celtic start tonight, Charlie. Are they going to win the title? Are you going with Hearts this season or Rangers? Just before we hear from you, this is Martin O'Neill looking forward to the first game.
Yeah, well, they caused us all sorts of problems last year. Beat the club at Dance Park way back early in the season, and certainly in the time that I've been here, really difficult games. We're 30 seconds away from being knocked out of the Scottish Cup. They played brilliantly that day, and we won it in extra time, and the game at Dundee was difficult. We made a number of great chances in the first half at Dundee. It was a game we had to win, and then they got a penalty in the second half, and the game was in the balance until Kell scores for us towards the end of the game. So I expect exactly the same again.
2 signings in so far. He was asked the other day, more signings coming in, when?
We're getting close, and I don't know how close is close, but we are definitely getting close.
Charlie, what are you thinking? Are Celtic going to win the league?
Yeah, I would say Celtic will win the league again this year. But I think I do honestly think it's going to be a lot tighter with Rangers. I don't see Hearts being in the mix this year, but I see Celtic and Rangers fighting out a lot closer than last year, and Celtic just winning it again. But listen, Rangers are going to win a lot more games this year. I think you can guarantee that. Derek McInnes will have them up for it, and you'd imagine the attitude there will be a lot better.
And do you think Celtic will get the signings in that will keep you happy? And, the Celtic fans, we know what happened last season. There was chaos.
I was going to ask Charlie, where do you think they need to strengthen?
Yeah.
Celtic.
I know they've signed the 2 boys up front, and I'll be honest with you, I think the 2 boys are very decent strikers.
It sums Martin O'Neill up. He likes to get good front players, and he's done it in the past with Sutton, Larson, and obviously Larson being there. I think they could go through the full team. I mean, especially if Engels and Johnson go, they need
He'll go.
Hatate will go. They need everywhere really. I think he'll start with the front line and potentially work his way back. But no, you could argue the whole team. You need another 4 or 5 people in that door, considering the people that are going to leave.
Because Alistair Johnson will probably be at Everton.
He'll go, yeah.
Is that a good move for him? Can you understand it?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's what happens. He's done brilliant for the club. Now he moves on. Tries to enhance his career and go to the Premiership. He obviously can't knock back that money. Celtic nor him. And Engels will probably go as well, you'd imagine.
But not West Ham. Or will it be West Ham?
What's the rumoured fee for Johnson?
15 million.
With 3 years left in his contract?
Yep. What do you think?
I think he's a big player for Celtic. No
Massive.
doubt. I think he's going to be hard to replace.
I mean, it hasn't been said what it's going to be, but I think it would be around 15 million. See, West Ham, Barry, were you surprised that if Engels goes, is that the right move for him, moving into the Championship? Would that suit his style of play?
Well, listen, he's going to get a lot more than what he's on at Celtic, even in the Championship. I mean, I would fully expect West Ham to get promoted back. I know they've sold quite a few players for large sums of money. I think there's still more to come. Watching Celtic and watching Engels, I still think there's more to come out of him.
I do as well. I've seen him in the Scottish Cup final. You've seen that true quote. I know he scored, and it's easy to say that, but watching his other side of the game, the way he dictated the game, his way to pass, how he knew how to be. I don't think the Championship, I think you're right, Paul, I don't think the Championship would be ideal for him. I don't think that would be his choice. He'll be trying to go to the Premiership.
Yeah.
Championship's a tough league.
I don't think he's a type that wants to roll his sleeves up, and he's not that type of player, and it can be a hard league to play in. But
amount of games I know, Charlie. I mean, you're 3 games a week.
You're on the road all the time, aren't you?
I know you're getting that at Celtic, obviously, with Europe, but it's a real physical league, the Championship.
The thing with the Championship as well is you can be a top player and disappear in the Championship, because it's if you're a more a technical player, a lot of the games are back to front and you can be missed out. Whereas if he goes to the Premiership, I think he could actually shine more in the Premiership, playing with a team that plays style. But whether he's got that option or not, I know he did last year when Forrest came in from, and
they might still be interested as
I think that would be his preference if he could get to the Premier. If there's a chance of getting the Premiership, he'll try to get there.
The manager spoke about Duran, who came in the week before, and then is it Hugh? We're calling him, I think.
Hugh.
Yeah, Hugh.
I would think that given in time that the 2 players should be able to play together without a problem. I don't know whether it means changing systems, changing all of that type of stuff, but they're good players.
And he was asked about Duran's position.
He's played off the wide as well too, so that's encouraging. I'm not so sure that that's eventually where I want him to play. He might have to do that for the time being, but until we get all the players that we're talking about getting in. So no, I see him being able to play as a striker or just off the striker.
Martin O'Neill likes to get his best players on the pitch. I think that's his priority rather than systems or styles. Get your best players on the pitch and then make them fit in. You've seen it be Sutton before in the past, playing number 10 when Hartson came in and playing centre back even at times. So it'll be interesting to see where they fit him in that 4-3-3. Martin O'Neill's suggesting he'll play off the wide, so I'd imagine he'll play off the left hand side tonight. And is it Hugh Ho? What we call him?
Yeah, well, he said Hugh. I think it's Hugh. Yeah,
he'll play up top. You'd imagine. Casper Shug.
Barry, it's going to be some match up between Martin O'Neill and the Rangers manager Derek McInnes, when you think about last season as
when
well.
you think about the last game of the season, obviously there was a lot of rumours, is Martin going to stay or go, Celtic going to bring somebody else in. They've kept with Martin O'Neill, and I think they should have for what he done, because Celtic were in a real mess, and he came in the second time and turned it around. Look, they weren't a great watch. I think he's one of the first to admit that, but he found a way to win games of football. That's what you have to do, and obviously now Derek getting the opportunity, what I think Derek McInnes thoroughly deserves, because he's been a manager for 19 years now. He's got a lot of experience, and this is his dream job, Derek McInnes, is, because I think a lot of managers previous have came to Rangers thinking it's a stepping stone. No, this is not a stepping stone for Derek McInnes. This is his ultimate job, and he'll do hopefully everything in his power to try and get a winning Rangers team on the pitch, but it has to be a lot better than it was on Friday.
Mark's on asking, Charlie, what's your Celtic team for tonight? But we have to take a break and then we're back.
The Go Radio Football Show with Scottish Gas.
On Ben Godfrey, Barry, it's a hamstring problem then. You've got the update.
Yep, he's going about for a month, which is a bit of a hammer blow, because Rangers are quite light in that position. So, yeah, listen, he was a big player that Rangers brought in, and he's not got off to the best start, obviously, with a hamstring injury, and it's one of the ones you've got to be careful with hamstrings. You can't come back too quickly, or you're going to have issues going forward.
Kevin's on the line. He's been hanging on. Hi, Kevin. Good evening.
How you doing, boys? How you doing, Barry, Charlie?
All right, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right, Kev.
Not bad, man, not bad.
Good. Are you off to the match? Are you working?
No, I'm off to the match, mate. Off to watch
good.
the Leather Bells tonight, mate. First game of the season, so hopefully get off to a good start. Well, I'm looking forward to it. So credit to the board for getting good signings on the board, but I'm still a wee bit frustrated with them. I'm hearing the Mika Bauer is it looks like one fits in the door, and it was for the sake of a few $100,000. And this is the thing that frustrates Celtic fans, because if it's £300,000, £400,000, £600,000, why did you not just pay the money? They could have been in the door a week ago, and he could have had a week's pre-season under his belt with Martin and the team. It's just annoying, man. So if the guy goes in the door after the Rights game, which is obviously what it's going to be now after the Rights game, obviously, it's just frustrating, because he could have already had a week to 10 days training under his belt with the first team squad. It's just you need to get that side of things sorted, I think. But,
Charlie, we don't know exactly what the deal is there, but he's absolutely right, Kevin. Get them as quickly as you can and get them into the team.
Spot on. Understand sometimes that transfers take time, but if it is a couple of $100,000, I don't know if it is. If Kevin's right in what he's saying, get it done, because that is invaluable to have the player in and get him settled with the squad, getting him fit, and then getting him ready for the Champions League qualifier that's coming up. So yeah, no brainer. Even if it is up to $500,000, get the deal done. It could be worth. Players like that can make a difference at 40 million or whatever the Champions League money is. So get it done.
Kevin, do you like the sound of Fares Gajemis, the winger?
I do actually, because I looked up him last season.
Yep.
We were linked to him. I can't remember the people, but I think it was. At this point last season, I think it was running about 6-7 million for us. I know they were working for him. So I don't know if it's the same the now, but he looked a decent player. He looked a really decent player. And credit to him. I think the guy wanted to stay and try and help the team. I don't think they were in a good place last season. He says he wanted to help, didn't want to leave them in a bad place. So
good character.
It seems like a good character about him for doing that. But he looks like a good player. If it's between us and Rangers, it's going to be a bit of a fight. There's obviously Rangers are a big club as well, but. If he wants to join the best team in Scotland, the team with a bunch of trophies, and he's only got to join one team, and he's got to join us.
A wry smile there from the Rangers legend, Barry Ferguson. Listen, Charlie,
Barry.
That's all right.
He's fine.
That's okay.
Charlie, what's your team tonight, do you think?
I think it'll be Sinisalo, Johnson, Carter, Vickers, Trusty, Kieran Tierney, and then it'll be Cal McGregor, Engels, Nygren, Yang, Hugh, and Duran on the left. I think he'll play Johnson and he'll play Engels, even though they're linked away. I think Martin will still play them right to their away. Because
he referenced Matt O'Reilly last week and he said, look at him when he left, but he still played early that season.
Exactly.
Barry, strong Celtic team?
Yeah, but very similar apart from the two new signings. And listen, I'm sure the Celtic fans will be expecting a lot of them. They're highly regarded. They're very good signings. But listen, we'll see tonight how they perform against Dundee.
Yeah, the thing about it is, when Celtic and Rangers both sign players, in Celtic's case for Hugh and Duran tonight, you just never know. No matter what they've done before, you come to Celtic, you'll realise you're playing for a club like you've never been under that pressure, and how you deal with that is going to be really, really interesting, and it's going to be hard for them. So you just never know, regardless of what they've done before. So it'll be good to see them getting a chance tonight, and hopefully they can show what they can do. It might take them a bit of time to settle and understand what the club's all about.
Hugh spoke, or Big Casper as we might call him, spoke the other day about settling in at Celtic.
It's the first time for me also, so I actually don't know. But I think it's good to have pressure on you. That's how the sport is. That's also because the fans, they know it's a big club, so that's what it is.
Yeah, that was the £12 million, £11.5 million, along with Engels. They're the biggest fees ever. And he spoke about what he did at Bodo Glimt, and he enjoyed that there. He scored in the Champions League, and he wants to repeat that at Celtic.
Yeah, I hope I can bring it to the team and to my teammates also, that we can have that feeling together, that we just happy to be together and want to do our best for each other also. So I hope I can bring that, of course.
Kevin, what do you think then for this season? Barry thinks it's going to be Rangers, Charlie, Celtic. What do you feel?
Barry thinks it's Rangers to win the league. I can't believe that. I thought he would have sure have picked us. Listen, I'm going to back my team, obviously. We'll know a wee bit better after tonight. I know I've watched a couple of pre-season games, and by the time we got to the Milan game, we looked really good against Milan in the first half. But to be fair, I think we were well in front of them in terms of pre-season, so it's always hard to tell. But we'll see after the night. Dundee gave us some really hard games last season, so we'll have a better idea after the night's game. But with those two strikers, the two boys that we've signed up front, that was where Celtic lacked last season, was finishing power. And these two guys are proven goal scorers at the highest level, at Champions League level. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really confident this season. And I'm confident tonight. Hopefully I'll be 3-0 win to get us off to a good start.
Kevin, who do you think is going to come third then?
Well, I've got a sneaky feeling it's going to be Hibs and Aberdeen. I think Hearts might. I think Hearts. Let's say something controversial here. I think Hearts will finish sixth. I think Hearts will fall away. They've lost their manager, they've lost their captain and their best player. I think Hearts will fall away.
Barry, they've only won once away from home since January, and that's, there's so much said about Hearts, and they were hard done by in some ways, but some of the form wasn't good enough, and the heart ripped out of them, really, haven't they? With Lon Shankland, Cammy Devlin, and obviously
they've not
Derek.
got off to their best start. Watched both games against Sturm Graz. Well beaten, if I'm being honest with you. I watched the game against Aberdeen. They did okay, but listen, what a way to lose a game, 2 goals in the space of 90 seconds. I agree with Kev. I think Hearts could struggle this year. In terms of I'm saying struggle, I don't think they'll be challenging.
No.
I can't see it. No.
Charlie, what do you feel?
I don't feel they'll be challenging either. I think they've got a lot to live up to for last year, and that's a big... People are going to Hearts now, and it's a different game for them. They're expecting their favourites, the pressure's on them, and I think they'll struggle with that. I don't think they'll repeat what they've done last year. I don't know if they'll be as far down as 6th. You just never know, but I don't think they'll be challenging anywhere near Celtic Rangers.
Who's coming third then?
If I had to take a guess now, early doors, but I would say...
You going Motherwell? No.
I think Motherwell.
You think Motherwell?
Aye.
I'm going to... I'm going to... Oh, it's a hard one, isn't it?
Well, Barry, I'll go to you because you've just said it. You reckon?
Yeah. Motherwell.
You loved watching them last season.
I thought they were the best watch by a country mile last year. They just ran out a wee bit of steam towards the end. But listen, I just enjoy the way they play. Listen, they're going to make mistakes at times, but it doesn't affect them. And I was impressed yesterday against Hibs. Even when Hibs were putting the pressure on the second half, because Hibs were poor in the first half, but that was down to the way Motherwell played. They defended well as well. You could see they're a real unit, but listen, they've got real good football players, and they've got players who can hurt you.
Charlie, who's coming third?
Well, I'm going to say Motherwell with Hearts closely behind them.
Kevin, thanks so much for your call. Speak to you again. 0808 17 17 700. Charlie, it sounds as though he's parked. You could hear it. You hear it in the background in the van. He's parked there. I think he has landed ahead of the game. He's maybe at the Commonwealth Games looking for tickets. Charlie, in the first half. Hey, Barry, you love your Ackies as well. Big win for them at the weekend, scoring 5.
Listen, I think they're going to go straight back up.
Yep. Are they back home?
They've spent a bit of money. Well, spent a bit of money. They've signed a lot of good players. Players who have got good experience in the game. So, I fancy Ackies to get straight back up.
That's the first hour. We'll have the team news. Charlie, what about 15:15? Has anyone sent you the team yet from your Celtic mole, your most decorated Celtic mole?
You just don't get car parking spaces to get to the game. No.
Barry, do you want a space? We could get
fine.
you in.
I'm fine.
You'll be there a few times this season. They're back. Barry Ferguson, Charlie Mulgrew, just after the news.
The Go Radio Football Show with Scottish Gas. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Story of the weekend, well, it'll finish tonight. Celtic playing Dundee. The kick-off, 7:30. Started way back on Friday night. Dundee United won, Rangers won. It was Lockie Rose, the Australian, who scored in 39 minutes, and then Tello Asgard, 56 minutes, 1-1. Then Saturday afternoon, well done Sky, having every single game on live. Falkirk losing at home 2-0 to St Mirren, a double for Killian Phillips. So good result for St Mirren. Saints fans, what are you thinking? And then Aberdeen, they were a goal down until the 90th minute. Ocean McEntee had scored in 35 minutes for the Herts. They hadn't won at Pittodrie though for 10 years in the league. I saw that the weekend. It's hard to believe. Looked as though they would. And then Olasanya was fouled. Finley's off. Mayo scores. And Kevin Nisbet then with that penalty when
Good
Finley
penalty.
was sent off. Cool as cucumber, wasn't he?
Good penalty.
And then Sunday, 2 o'clock, St Johnstone 4, Kilmarnock 3. Can you remember all the scorers? No, the key one is it was Kai Fotheringham, wasn't it? Well done.
I played with him at
We
Dundee
clinched it.
United.
Did you? Of course you did. Good player.
Yeah,
Decent,
very good player,
decent.
great
Yep.
attitude.
For Killie, Kilty scored, Huggle scored, and then a Jason Holt, OG, and then it was Fowler who scored for St Johnstone at the beginning. Great start for them. Many people thought they would go down. And then Hibs, who had a win the other, a great win for Hibs in Europe, and my goodness, they needed it. But they lost 2-1 at home to Motherwell. Lucas Fadinger, the penalty after 40 minutes. And then Ibrahim Said, late winner, 5 minutes to go.
Good goal.
Wasn't it?
That was a good goal.
But he started the move, didn't he? And then he was there. And Captain Martin Boyle, it's good that he's there, Barry. You happy that he stayed on? He thought he was going to be leaving, but he stayed.
Yeah. Just about to say that. I looked if he was going to be going in a free transfer, then out the blue, he signs a new contract, gets another goal. Listen, he'll cause defences problems, Martin Boyle.
Charlie, Martin Boyle, were you surprised that he
Good,
stayed?
listen, a good player for Hibs over the years, really quick, relied on his pace heavily. Good for Hibs that he stayed. He's always a threat up top with that pace. I think he's caused a lot of teams problems in the past, and he's somebody Hibs will be happy to have, especially for the change room as well. That same kind of core of players really helps a changing room, and he's definitely one of the characters in there.
Let's all change at Rangers. So they headed to Euro Club Dundee United at the weekend. It was brilliant to have the season back, Barry, wasn't it? Friday night football.
It was good to see Tannadice looking good. The
yeah.
pitch, because last year it was an absolute disaster there.
Spot the grass last year, wasn't it?
Although did you see it starting to chop up at the corners when Asgard tried to hit one?
I've seen that, but listen, no excuses, because the pitch obviously was in good nick. Just Rangers just weren't at the races, and as I said to you at the start of the show, Paul, you could see Derek McInnes was clearly frustrated, but you can only do so much in the dressing room when you say to them, and then you're in the touchline. When the players are on the pitch, they have to take responsibility as well. I want to see more of that. People say, "Oh, it's not the modern day way to do it," but you need certain players on the pitch. Certainly when in the second half, when they came flying out the traps, the tempo was high. When you get that goal, I want to see people run about saying, "Listen, that's it. We keep this tempo high." But as soon as they scored the equaliser, I thought they come off it a wee bit, and you could see Derek for the touchline having a wee go at some of them. But again, it has to come within.
Yeah, I think when you
come with people on the pitch, they're the guys out there that have to drive it. The manager can only do so much.
I think when you look at the Hearts front line last year, it was much better than the Rangers front line right now. If you could argue, like with the wide players and with Braga and Shankland, because last year Hearts would have went on and probably got. I know I'm referencing Hearts because Derek McInnes was the manager, but they probably would have went on and won that game. Rangers need to find more on the forward line, which we spoke about.
This was his take at full time. 1-1, Derek McInnes.
Disappointed with a lot of aspects of it. I felt we wasted the first half, to be honest. I thought like Ryan's header, the keeper makes a good save, a couple of things flashing across their box, but I thought we had to defend more than we needed to. I thought you got to credit their front three in terms of trying to penetrate. They kept trying to run gaps, but we just looked a wee bit slow to react a lot of the time. I think that's fair to say. We had to deal with a lot of traffic in our box, mostly throw-ins and mostly set plays, because they were forcing us back and getting a bit of territory. which sometimes culminates in corners and free kicks, so we've got to go and try and deal with that. And disappointed with the goal we lose. I just think it was unnecessary without pointing fingers at anybody. Second half, we got ourselves in a better position. We've got to dig ourselves out at half time. I think the changes helped us, but I thought the approach to the team was far better, and we kind of just a wee reminder to them what we were trying to do in the game. And I thought we were far better. I thought the equaliser was coming before it did do. There's no real surprise when Taylor catches it the way he does, because he's such a great technician, and he caught it brilliantly. And I thought the desire to get the equaliser was clear. And I felt for 5 minutes or so after that it was still clear to go and get the winner, but I thought the desire to get the winning goal wasn't quite the same as getting the desire to get the equaliser. And I'm disappointed that we never kept the shoulder to the wheel. And it wasn't through a lack of effort. I need to stress that, because I thought we looked fit enough and I thought we looked determined enough. It was just little basic mistakes, littered with mistakes and silly decision making. It gives them encouragement, it takes you further back, and everything all of a sudden starts to look a wee bit more difficult than it was. So we clearly need to improve on a lot of things. The squad will improve as we go along through this month, and the squad will look far stronger when we come out this window with some new signings. And I do think we'll be better for having had that game. Obviously, I'm still learning a bit about the players as well, and we're all kind of learning on the job. But we want to make sure while we're learning and wanting to improve that we're picking up 3 points when we can.
Charlie, what did you pick out from that?
He's learning about the players. Like I said before, pre-season's fine. Training, you begin to see them and understand them. Pre-season games, you then understand, and you play what you see, what you've seen so far, and you play in the first league game. You put your best players that you've seen, but then you begin to learn, I think, in league games, and that's where you see the real stuff. That's where you see who's willing to step up, forward players scoring and assisting, and having the desire to. You mentioned the silly mistakes there. That's down to desire and really wanting that winner. And I know the feeling of when a team sits off and you're having to score late. Celtic done it loads last year. You need to penetrate, and eventually something will drop for you inside the box. Could be the last minute, could be the last 30 seconds, last kick of the ball, whatever. You need to be ready to take that chance. You need to have desire to really. And Rangers never done that. They never knocked the door down. In fact, Dundee United looked at the team that could break away and score. So that's what will be disappointing for Derek McInnes. But he said he's Celtic. He needs players in that. More players by the end of the window, they'll be in a better position.
Barry, what do you feel?
I think he summed it up really well. First half, nowhere near good enough. Second half, the double change made a difference. The tempo get raised. They get the equaliser. And then at that stage, Paul, you're thinking that Rangers are going to go on and get that second and third goal, and they didn't. And they were sloppy in possession at times. They made some rash decisions, a few mistakes. And what that does, that gives you opposition at that stage when on the back foot a bit of confidence. And in the end, listen, I think overall, if I'm watching the game, a draw was probably the fair result, but Rangers got away with one at the end, because I think the boys got to go through and score that one. So listen, it's one of the ones where you lick your wounds, you go away, you get back on the training ground, and you work on things that quite weren't right on the night. And I'm sure that's what Derek would have done along with his coaching staff. And you're wanting to see a reaction on Thursday night in Poland.
Billy's on, a Rangers fan, 0808 17 17 700, saying, Barry, how does he get the best out of Sterling and Diamondi? Sterling first of all.
Well, first and foremost, if you keep Duge fit, Duge has got all the attributes you would want in a defender. He can play anywhere along the back line, which is ideal. Would I say right back's his best position? No, I wouldn't. I see him more as a centre half. But listen, it's great that he can play in the right back position. Dio, I think you've got to play Dio further forward, where he's getting in people's faces, and you let him, because he's got very good legs in terms of he can get about the pitch. That's where you would get the best out of the two players.
I see some of the websites were saying that some of the players didn't. The captain wanted them to run off at half time. I missed it. I was watching it, but did you see that, Barry, where they said that Diamandi and Sterling kind of jogged off, whereas the captain wanted the team to kind of run up the tunnel?
I heard somebody say that, but listen, as soon as the whistle went, I was up getting a cup of tea.
Kettle on. Yeah. I did miss that, Charlie. Did you see that?
I didn't see no, but is
I
that
can't
who
comment on it.
Shanklin said that's what he wanted?
Apparently, yeah. He said, right, get right up the tunnel, but a bit of pace, and apparently they did. But look, I haven't seen it.
I've heard about that before. I remember getting told that as a young player.
Sprint up the tunnel.
Aye.
Either sprint up the tunnel or at half time when we were younger. I remember it became half time, and I remember the coach telling us, "Don't walk over with your head down. Get running over here." It shows an intensity above a bit.
Is that what it is? Just purpose?
I think again, Paul, when you look into results, if Rangers had won that, nobody would have mentioned a thing.
Of course.
I don't think it. I don't think it really matters.
Barry, is it something you would demand? Sprinting up the tunnel?
I think if you have a performance like that in the first half, you want to get off the pitch as quickly as possible and get in that dressing room and sort it.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Joe's on, a Motherwell fan, saying, can we hear from the new manager? I'm impressed so far. He's a Motherwell season ticket holder. What a win for Motherwell. I mean, what a performance in Europe and then again in Edinburgh at the weekend. Here is your new manager. In fact, we're just waiting for the team news to come in. It's not in yet. Here he is, Alfred Johansson.
They already now, when I come in after the game, the guys are talking about, you should have been a little bit lower here and you should have given the ball to me here when I made that run and so on. So those relationships is going to grow and grow and grow and grow. But it's nice then to see the spirit and to see the solidity of the team.
A little bit more.
They changed the structure a little bit in their press. We should have recognized that together a little bit earlier and made some adaptations to help the guys. We'll learn from that. I learn from that, the staff will learn from that, and the players will learn from that. As I told you, they were already speaking about it, how to solve it inside.
Barry wants the players to see it as well. Interesting, he said he missed it.
Listen, I understand the manager as the figurehead, but also I like players who take responsibility. I don't know what you think, Charlie. I like when players come in, the first 2 or 3 minutes, sort it out amongst yourself. Yep. And then the manager will come in and say his piece. And I think it's important that you have characters like that in the dressing room.
I think when players start to talk about stuff that the manager's already put into practice, like you should be here, you should be there, because there's loads of ways to do it. But when your manager's put an idea across to you and you start to understand it, I think that for a manager would be great to see your players are then understanding the message you're trying to get across, and they're actually asking each other to do it, and that's the best place you want to be, because then everybody's beginning to sing for the same hymn sheet.
Exactly. I like coming in and I like to do that. First couple of minutes, let the players discuss if something went wrong in the first half, like you deepened too quickly or you never pressed as quickly as you should have. I like players taking responsibility like that.
08 17 17 700. We'll go back on the lines in a few moments, but we think the Celtic team will drop for the game tonight. Charlie, the attendances were down at the pre-season friendlies, but tonight, do you expect 60,000 for the flag going up?
I don't know what to expect tonight, Paul, to be honest, after the friendly attendances. You're hoping that a couple of signings has helped the situation and understand that the board and everybody wants the same thing. But who knows? We'll soon see.
You surely should have a full house the first
league
game of the season.
Yeah, you should hope so, Barry. But I don't know what's the script after the pre-season games and the disharmony with the board. But we'll see.
Here is the team, and I can tell you the 2 big money signings are in. They're playing. Celtic lineup: Sinisalo, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Trusty and Tierney, just as you said, Charlie. McGregor the captain, Engels and Nygren, Yang, Duran and Hugh.
Bang on. Got it.
I nearly said 10 out of 10. You got all 11. So, Charlie?
Yeah, that's fully how I expected it to be. I'd imagine Duran will be the same formation as last year. Duran he'll play off the left and Hugh up front.
The picture on it, Barry, it's the Canadian international, Alistair Johnson. I wonder if it's one of the last times the Celtic fans might see him, but he's in tonight. He's the kind of player who would give everything, wasn't it? Isn't he? You know, some people.
I said that he's going to be hard to replace. I thought Celtic missed him last year when he was out injured for that lengthy period of time. And listen, I'm sure the Celtic fans will be going to Celtic Park tonight expecting Celtic to run over the top of Dundee.
Oxlade-Chamberlain, were you surprised that he was signed for the season, Charlie? Or do you think he's a good addition?
No, he's a good. He's going to be a good squad player. You wouldn't imagine he's somebody that will play a lot of games to the start, but he's somebody that can come in and do a job. He's proved that multiple times that he can come in and add to that midfield. So, no, I'm not surprised. You need players like that for your changing room and your squad, and good to have him there. And
he's been speaking about Arnie Engels and having played up close with him, a player who probably will cost, 25 million if and when he goes.
Yeah, I think Arne's a great player. He's young, so he's still got a lot of improving that he can do also as well, which shows his potentials is massive. He's a great engine, and he can run all day. He's got good qualities on the ball as well, and he can score goals. So I think, especially since I came in, when I first came, he just picked up his thigh injury. So we had a spell where we didn't have him for a while, and we had to find a way to win. It probably gave me a bit of a chance to get a kick in midfield. But so we had a spell without him, but having him come back in and his energy, you can see what a good player he is. And yeah, I'm sure his future is very bright.
Barry, do you like watching him? Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's had some career, and he's saying that.
I don't think he's the same player as a few years back.
Yeah.
That's obvious, but he's still got good qualities. There's no doubt. You don't play at Arsenal and Liverpool and be an England international if you're not a serious football player. And listen, I agree with Charlie. I don't think he'll be a starter for Celtic, but it's always good to have that experience. If things are not going right, he's available to come off the bench and go and make a difference.
Charlie, Callum McGregor, there was chat that maybe he would go to the Middle East. Are you pleased that he's staying? Looks as though he will be there.
Listen, no-brainer. He has got a huge part to play in that building. As much as we give the staff and the manager a lot of credit for last year, he deserves a huge amount of credit for how he dragged that team as well. Plays a huge part in that, and somebody that wouldn't be easy to replace. I don't know who you would get to do that job on the pitch and off the pitch, and if he's staying, then it's a great bonus for Celtic.
Let's hear a bit from the captain, Callum McGregor.
All the teams will strengthen over the summer. We're the same as well. Obviously, a couple of good signings in the door. Hopefully, some more bodies in as well. But you're always going to face challenges. So I think, like you said there, normally it's sort of done by the time you get to the last day. But that's what we want. We want to play good football. We want to win as many games as we can, and hopefully put ourselves in a more comfortable position. But all the teams around you are getting stronger all the time. They're pushing, so we have to do the same. And can we get to a point where hopefully we don't make it so nervy on the last day?
Charlie, you don't write off Dundee at all because they did some damage. You heard Martin O'Neill saying it came so close in the cup.
No, not at all. Stephen Presley has them set up really well. They'll be well set up tonight. It'll be a difficult game, and you hopefully get an early goal, and Celtic can then build on it and use the atmosphere and the fact that they've got the lead in their favour. But it won't be easy.
An hour to go, just over an hour till kick-off. Here's the Dundee team. Goodman in goals, Odutayo, Astley, Bevan, Wright, Finnegan, Simon Murray, the captain, of course, Riley, Wesley, the other Bevan, Jay Bevan, and Hamilton. So a few changes there in the lineup. Haven't seen them yet, Charlie. I don't suppose you have either.
No, I've not. But Hamilton for last year's a strong runner in midfield, and he can carry the ball and does a good job. Scored a good goal at Celtic Park last year. They've got a good squad. Stephen Presley's he's done well there. It'll be a tough game. The thing for me is Celtic last year, the last 10, 15 games, the performances weren't good at all, but they were picking up results. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do this year. I don't think you can go through a season just limp over the line. I think you need to perform much better than they did. Martin will know that, and that's why he started with two big signings.
On the bench, Doohan, this is for Celtic obviously, McCowan, Tenecti, Osmond, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Hatate, Murray, Forrest and Donovan, the Celtic bench. Do you think, Barry, they'll go for another goalkeeper? Do you think to strengthen? Maybe not to take over from Sinisalo, but as backup?
But I think that is an area where they would look to go and bring in. Look, he done well last year, no doubt about it. Is he going to be the permanent number one? I'm not too sure. I think that's maybe an area of the pitch where they would look to be bringing somebody in with maybe a bit more experience, who's been about a bit longer. But listen, it's as Charlie says earlier on, it's not just one position. I think Celtic need to strengthen. I think there's a lot of areas very similar to Rangers. I still believe that there's a lot of business still to be done between now and the close of the window.
Kieran Tierney in the news today in the Spanish side, looking at him, but Celtic wouldn't sell him, would they?
No, it's a strange one. Also, Osasuna made a bid or inquiry. No, I don't think Kieran Tierney would. I don't know. I've not spoken to him, but I don't imagine he'd want to leave to go there. A bold attempt to try and get him, but no, he'll be here for the season.
Julia's on the way, saying looking forward to it. I think Celtic are going to win tonight. And Alistair Johnson, if he is on his way, would go with the best wishes of the Celtic fans. Is that what most people would say? There's kind of an acceptance now that It's a stepping stone. Any team in Scotland, Celtic, Rangers, or whoever, it's a stepping stone.
Well, if you're talking about 15, 20 million for a right back, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Celtic are in a position to knock that back. I don't think the fans expect them to knock it back. I think what the Celtic fans want is for that money to be reinvested and bring in more players, 5, 6, 7 million pound players to add to the squad to then kick on to get better. But Alistair Johnson's been a great servant. He's gave everything for the club. He's shown tonight how much he's committed by playing again tonight, and yeah, we'll go with the best wishes. He's been great for Celtic.
Quick break.
What did they take him in for? How much did they pay for him? A couple of million?
Yeah.
A few
I think
million.
that's right, isn't
Decent,
it?
decent
yeah.
profit.
Was it 3 million? We'll double check during the break. Looking forward. Charlie will be off shortly. We're off just after 5 to 7, heading to the game tonight. There is a slot there, Barry, for you if you want. Do you miss it over the summer, Barry, with the football, or it's good to get a break?
It's good to take a break and recharge your batteries, but once you get a 4, 5, 6 weeks, you start to get itchy feet and look forward to the season, because it's exciting to see what the teams, who they're bringing in, how much money they're spending. And I still believe there's a lot of business still to be done with both Rangers and Celtic.
Yeah, it's going to be some August, isn't it, Charlie? A lot of business.
I think there'll be 5 or 6 coming and going at Celtic anyway. There's got to be. I think if you look at Engels, Johnson away, that's 2 areas right away. You need to strengthen, you need to spend money. You need Nygren might go, he might stay, maybe stay another year, but you still need midfielders in the background challenging for positions. It's not just 11, Paul. You need 15, 16 players fighting for that squad.
James, as always, is on it. $3.5 million it was for Alistair Johnson in 2022.
I know he signed a new contract, wasn't it,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, but listen, it's a good profit on it. There's no doubt. If he goes for 15, you're making, 11.5 million quid, so...
Good business, isn't it?
Decent business.
Rangers, how many will they need? I'm going to ask Barry just after the break.
The Go Radio Football Show with Scottish Gas.
Charlie's got a cup of tea, so he's okay here on the Go Radio Football Show with Scottish Gas. Listen, thank you for making the switch. So many of you spoke to us over the summer, over at the World Cup in Miami. That's where I was. Wasn't in Boston, Barry, but I mean, the Scottish fans were just absolutely brilliant. And if only the team could...
Yeah, I'm no surprised. They always travel well. They always behave themselves. That's the important thing. But listen, I just look back in the 3 Scotland games. I know they won the first game.
Yeah.
But I was just disappointed. I expected a bit more because of the quality of players we do have in the squad. I just thought the big players didn't deliver as much as they could.
It's a long, tough season for them. Somebody said to me beforehand, maybe the biggest players might find it tough after, but you could say that of every team, couldn't you?
Yeah, I think that when you look at the big players, you're talking about McTominay and McGinn mostly. But it's a team game and they're relying on receiving balls. For the defenders or for the midfielders, if you're going to pass through the line, so you can't just have a go at them. I think the full team will be disappointed. I think they were in between styles. We never had a way of playing. We just were off it in the 2 games, conceding early goals. It just wasn't enough. We never gave enough. We never had a clear way of playing, and it was so disappointing watching it. It's glaring. To get there, I mean, taking that away from the players, to get there is a great achievement. They've done brilliant. Although we limped through the group. Yeah. We were really bad in qualifying, but we got through magic for the big players. But getting there, then you're hoping to. We sat here and said it. Let's put up a fight. Yep. Let's give something. And we never. It was disappointing, but
we topped the table in qualifying. Because some people are saying, we limped to whatever. We did well.
I know what you genuinely mean. Poor in games.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to the Denmark game, and we were poor in the game, and there was 4 big moments. Yeah. When does that happen? Taking nothing away from anybody. I'm just telling what I saw. I saw us win games that I couldn't believe we won. And it's big players that stepped up and scored the goals and done well to get us there. When we get there, we just never turned up. We were looking to just get through without taking part. It looked like we didn't want to take part in the tournament. It looked like we just wanted to try and get through and make history by getting through instead of forgetting. Neil Lennon used to say to us quite a lot, play the game, not the occasion. So it's easy to worry about let's try and get to the next round, but you actually need to focus in the moment and not get too attached with the result at the end. You need to focus on your job. And I feel that every team I watched, when I watched the games, they were doing that, and we just seemed to look like we just wanted the game to end so we could get through and hopefully create history, but we forgot to take part in the tournament.
Alex has been on saying, Barry, I agree with you. We need to change things in Scotland. Not enough players getting through, playing at the top, and it needs root and branch change, is what he said in Scottish football.
I honestly believe it. I just believe the system has became tired and a bit stale, and it's something that we really need to change, because I'm passionate about young players. You know, I mean, me and Charlie were both young players and we came through the system. And look, I know how difficult it is. Listen, albeit you need to be a good player first and foremost, but you need a bit of luck. You need to work hard at it. But I just don't think we develop enough players in the system we've got at this moment in time.
Gregory's tuned in and he sent a picture. Charlie, that's his strip for tonight. It's a retro strip, a Celtic strip from 92-93. It's the kind of Inter Milan, isn't it? With the green and the black.
I remember.
He's got a question for you, Barry. It's not about Celtic strips.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember that strip. Was never my favourite strip, but I remember it back in the 90s.
What's your favourite strip? He was asking.
My favourite strip?
Greg wants to know, and Barry wants to know what's your all-time favourite Rangers strip?
1984. That was my first Rangers strip.
Right.
It's similar to the new this season.
I remember. Yeah.
That was my first Rangers strip. So
84.
I remember I got the Bumblebee strip, with the first ever Bumblebee strip. That was
horrendous, wasn't it?
I remember that, but you can't beat the hoops back in like 95 when Pierre scored that goal. The one with the thick and the thin stripes. That was a good one
against Airdrie. Cup final. Yeah. Barry's like, you can't beat the hoops. Clip that one up. Barry, the Rangers fans like the strip. He's just talking about, a few people are coming on now, I can see them saying there, Barry, a lot of Rangers fans, they do like it with the stripe down at the moment. So you're up for it. It won't matter if they don't win the league, but Doesn't do any harm. Did it ever affect you then at the start of the season? Was there ever a season you thought, I don't like that one? It's not going to bring us good luck? Nah.
Listen, some of the away strips I wasn't too keen on. But we always had a say in it, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, they would bring the strip up, out, maybe they would bring it up, to the training ground 2 or 3 months before the season ended. So we'd have a wee look at what was coming out, and we had a say in it, which was good.
I don't claim to ever liked the Rangers strip, right? But do you remember the one with the collar that said Adidas across it, and it was Gaza that wore it with the 3 stripes and
that was a good strip. So you did like a Rangers
I don't
strip?
claim to like it, but I thought that was quite a trendy one at the time.
I think you're a closet Rangers man. Do you know what?
We'll clip that one up as well. Scoreline tonight.
I like the strip this year because it's very plain. I like it, plain blue with a wee thin white stripe, similar to the '84 one.
Celtic fans, if you're on your way to the game, remember 7:30 kickoff, and it's as Charlie said in the first half. So the 2 new players up front will be there. It'll be interesting to see how he plays them, how he uses them.
I can only see it that way. Really, I don't see him going with that personnel. I don't see him going in a 4-4-2. You're not going to play Niagara in the middle. You're not going to play him off a side. I think it'll be a 4-3-3. And he's mentioned Duran can play off the wing, so I think he'll play off the left wing, play narrow, try and get close to Hugh and see how it works.
Here's a bit more from Martin Neal speaking about 2 players in, some going out, more coming in.
Well, yeah, there's the 2 elements to it. One, that we did want to build this squad and bring players in anyway, whether they, hopefully, that they would have stayed at the football club. Alistair had an excellent World Cup with Canada, and that enhanced his chances naturally. But I think you have to try and do your best to balance everything. Like, try and get new players in, try and hold the players that you have at the same time. That's utopia. Unfortunately, that's not real life.
And he spoke a bit more in depth about the 2 players who are expected to leave, Engels and Alistair Johnson.
Yeah, I think the West Ham, I think there's definitely truth in that. I think there's been something put in, but it doesn't remotely meet our valuation for a start. And the same with Alistair. I think Everton have been in contact, and I'm not sure whether there's been a bid in there in that one, but they've been in contact saying that they would be. And in fairness, David did call me last week and saying that there would be contact, but I don't know how far that has progressed, if it has at all. But that would be disappointing, obviously. But I suppose it's to be expected. Players who have done well, and that we turned down a big offer then in January from Nottingham Forest. It came in at the very last minute, so we couldn't do anything. Arne was all right with it, but it's difficult to stop people if their ambition is to play in a big league. Although West Ham have been relegated, but obviously enhance their financial situation. Those things are difficult, What our job is to try and keep them, try and do our best to keep them. If that's not possible, then naturally we'll have to try and get replacements in. But to replace those players would be difficult task.
Kieran's on asking, Charlie, do you trust the board to continue to put big money up for Martin O'Neill to make good signings, the right signings, a bit of stardust?
Well, they've made it a good start.
Yep.
In this window. It didn't look like they were going. It was a bit slow, and then the 2 signings that have come in are looking good. So I think you can only hope that continues.
And will they get the right players? That's his second question.
If they leave it, I'm confident in Martin O'Neill, although he never got a great January window because he was brought in late. He had no preparation. It's been different this year, and look what he's done so far. I trust in Martin O'Neill. He spot a good player and he bring the right players in. Now, you can question the recruitment department and how that's going to improve in the future, but right now, Martin O'Neill's there. He's a manager. He picks the players, and you hope that you'd imagine that he'll be able to spot a player. He is very simple in the way he looks at things, and somebody that will bring in good players and somebody I would trust with the money.
Barry, it was a crazy season, wasn't it? It's only at this time last year. Russell Martin was the new manager at Rangers. Mm-hmm. You were in the final 2. They decided to go with Russell Martin. And Brendan Rodgers was at Celtic, which seems ages ago.
Yeah, listen, it was, I don't think, well, you never know in football, but that was just crazy last year. In terms of a Rangers point of view, it just, you could tell from the early stages of the season, it just wasn't going to work out. And look, whoever gets the manager's job, you want them to do well, but it was going from bad to worse. And they had to make the change. And to be fair to Danny Rowley, come in and he done really well. He got Rangers winning, and then when the split comes, Rangers fall apart. They just, I just don't know what happened to them. I just couldn't believe what I was watching. It was so disappointing because they'd got themselves into a brilliant position, and when it came to the crunch, basically where it really matters, Rangers just couldn't find a performance and couldn't find a result.
After the result at the weekend, it's the first game. Everyone knows that. But how many players do you think he needs, and where? So you said earlier, obviously, some width.
Oh yeah, definitely. He'll need players in the wide area, and probably depending on who's going to be. We don't know yet what's going to be happening with Nico Raskin. We don't know what's going to be happening with Chermiti because there's been a bit of talk, even Gassama. So I still think there's going to be a few outs at Rangers in terms of guys who have got a real chance of being in the starting 11, because money talks. Everybody's got a price in their head, Paul.
Yep.
But in terms of Derek bringing players in, he definitely in the forward areas needs, as I call them, the difference makers and a bit of pace and power.
Gary has been on. In fact, it's Jason is on as well. Here's Jason's point. He says, guys, are Rangers waiting on Raskin to fund a move for Lewis Ferguson? I mean, that was mentioned at the end of last season about Lewis Ferguson, your nephew. And will there be any new faces before the next league game? But first of all, about your nephew, it's gone quiet.
I think it'll be too expensive. Listen, we were talking about Scotland at the World Cup. He was the only bright light. I thought he was really good in the 3 games. And the problem that's caused is it's raised his price up again. He's still got 2 years left, I believe, with a year's option. So what I believe is, I think it would be too expensive for Rangers.
You're not getting the spare wing in Ferguson Towers ready for your nephew to move in to.
Listen, at some stage I would love to see him. I've said this many a times. This is no new news, but I think it'd be too expensive at this moment in time.
Barry said it on this show 3-4 years ago when he was at Aberdeen. You could have got him for 2-3 million.
Yep. There is talent in Scotland. It's there. I just don't think they'll do it now. With the defensive midfielders they've brought in, they've obviously cleared that they're not going to get loose, so they'll try and spend some money in the forward area, I'd imagine. When you think of like players that were in the league, Eli Just, who's went to Swansea, why are Rangers not taking him? I mean, imagine him in that team in Friday night.
Did you agree on that one? Sorry, on Elijah Just.
I've always said it, Paul. This is a new story as well. I've always said there is a bit of an ignorance with players that play at other clubs. I believe that there is a handful of players that can 100% do a job at Rangers or Celtic.
So why doesn't it happen?
It's almost as if, to me, it's too easy, so they look elsewhere, and sometimes they look over the top of these players and they go elsewhere. He would have been somebody that would come in right away. He wouldn't have been too expensive, you would imagine, and played in the wing for Rangers or even Celtic. I don't know why they never went for him, but anyway, they've not, and it's on to get Rangers need players in that forward area. Wide men, I mean, the formation the other night was like a four sort of diamond 2. Gassama kind of floated out on the left hand side at times. They didn't get suited the way they were playing. So I don't know if that's because that's the way Dale McInnes wants to play. I'd imagine he's playing the best players he can see and getting them into a formation and getting 2 up top. But I think, considering the way Hearts played last year, I'd imagine he would try and get a bit more width.
There's still a number of players that I believe it could do a job.
Any wingers? I'm trying to think of wingers right now.
I'm just looking yesterday. I'm watching Murrow yesterday. Longello. Yeah. I like him. I've seen him a number of times.
It's a left back, isn't it?
Yeah. Good player. Maswanise, I know he came on.
Yeah.
But he showed last year that he's more than capable. But there's a number of players. I've said it for a number of years. I just think there's a bit of an ignorance that players that are playing at other clubs might not be able to do the job at a Rangers or Celtic, and Rangers or Celtic go and look at other leagues where I think there's just as good a player in this
What
league.
do you think of Cammy Devlin?
In a free transfer, I think you've got to take him. Aye. I can see totally why Rangers that have signed Cammy. Listen, Derek McInnes knows him really well, but you're getting him in a free transfer. I thought he was probably Hearts' best player last year. You know what you're getting. Listen, he's 100%. He'll give it everything he's got. So I see the reason why that Rangers have took him in.
Because you like Conor Barron.
Yeah, they're top heavy in the middle of the pitch. I could see one or two midfielders having to go out the door.
Derek McInnes 1-1 at the end. Final comment from him. He said, look, there are encouraging signs. I was disappointed with some things he said, but there are some shoots that he can look at and thinks we might be okay.
Good for the game in terms of the fitness. I like the character of the team, the determination of the team, but I still expect better from us. And it's those moments, it's those kind of quality signings, along with the players improving that we've got in-house, that makes me really confident that we're going to have a strong season. I know the evidence today would suggest we've still got loads of work to do, and I get that. But I do think we have got enough to be encouraged about. But the new signings need to land for us soon. I need to say that. Everybody's working hard to get the right players in, and I appreciate the effort that's getting made. But we've got important games, important league games, important European games, and we're just really trying to crank that up to try and get players in the building as quick as possible.
Countdown to kick off is on. We're back in a moment. Zone.
The Go Radio Football Show with Scottish Gas.
Celtic against Dundee is just 40 minutes away. Of course, there's the flag unfurling first of all and that will happen. I would imagine, what, Charlie? Well, you've done it there a few times.
Yeah.
Is that about 10 minutes before kick-off or 5 minutes?
Something like that, aye. I wonder who's doing it. There's always get somebody in to do it.
That's right. Who do you reckon?
Who would I
We're
guess?
guessing, really, aren't we?
Paul McStay.
Yeah. Paul was there not that long ago, of course, wasn't he? He was here. You never know. We'll find out shortly.
I just threw a name out there.
7:30 kick-off. Barry, you'll... I mean,
You'll be watching that.
Yeah.
No, I'll watch the game.
Of course. Good on Sky. I mean, we give them stick at times, but I thought it was great they did every game.
It was good to see all the games live and see how teams are looking in terms of how their pre-seasons went, and obviously they're building their squads, but as I said, you've still got another 26, 27 days left of the window, so I'm sure there'll be, well, every single team in the league will still be looking to strengthen.
Looking at lots of the papers today, I was looking through them earlier on. Bill Leckie in his column in The Sun, he's focusing mainly on Hearts and just saying you could almost see it in their eyes. 90th minute and they concede a goal, having led for ages, and then they lose another one.
That's a sore one.
Yeah.
As a player,
I think it's a penalty, Charlie.
I think it's a penalty, aye.
That's a good question. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's clumsy. I think it's clumsy.
But he's impeded.
You could see Finlay wasn't happy with his fellow defender. He's got to cover in a wee bit, and you could see him having a wee look. But I thought it was a clumsy tackle. I thought it was a penalty. I don't know if I would give him a red card, but I know it's the rules. But
he says in it, the disbelief on centre-back Stuart Finlay's face as he sat there in the box. He was just saying for the players, many of them, was it 9 of them played last season, could it haunt the club? And it's a big thing for Hearts, isn't it? We're a Glasgow station, obviously. Rangers looked favourites. Celtic were still in there. You kept saying that. And, well, you put the hex on.
One game doesn't define a season, so we never know what Hearts are going to respond like. But I always thought, Paul, if they start with a couple of defeats, so they don't start the same as last season, all of a sudden teams are going there, the pressure's on them, fans are now expecting. They've spoke about winning the title in the next 5 to 10 years, is that right? And then the first year they go and nearly do it, right, take it to the last day. So naturally, as a fan, you go, let's see what you go this year. The minimum they'll expect is some sort of challenge in third place, and to start with a defeat adds pressure onto the players. And as I say, nothing's done yet, but it's going to be a real tough season for Hearts this year in terms of dealing with the pressure and taking on that responsibility. It's no easy when you're the team that people expect a lot of.
They've lost 2 big players.
And
Devlin and Shankland. Also Halkett, it looks like he's going to be out for the season because he suffered a cruciate injury. So that's right through your spine of your team, which is important. They lost the goalkeeper as well. He's away back to, I think, Germany, isn't it?
Yep.
He was a decent goalkeeper,
wasn't he?
Yep.
That's the reason why he kept, obviously, Craig Gordon out. But so that's 4 big players that are missing out the team, and probably 4 big characters in the dressing room.
What you might see for Hearts this year, I would guess, I bet they play better football, and they have a better structure on how to play in terms of easier on the eye to watch, but they won't maybe win as much games. That's what I think you'll get for Hearts this year.
Keith Jackson on the record was saying you can't just blame Fernandes. So there's a number of players who would have to do better for Rangers, because Fernandes, he gets a bit of stick.
Listen, I can understand why people have says about it, but if you actually look at it, it's not just Fernandes. There's I think 3 players. One's Cammy Devlin. I think one is Romans, and I don't know who the fourth one is. But it's just a job. I need to see when you get spent and they're on the attack, you need to sprint back as fast as you can to get back in and defend that goal. That's your job.
The thing with Fernandes, I know there's more players involved in it, of course, but as a centre-back, you're at the back, you see everything in front of you, you need to organise people in front of you to be in a better position to help you, and you need to have a desire to defend your goal. I go back to Chiellini and Bonucci. I know we're talking about world-class Italian internationals, but these guys, one, they're quick, they're not massively powerful in the air, but they know how to defend their goal, they know how to sniff out the danger, they know how to defend their box, and that's ultimately, no matter what style of football you play or how you play, the difference is made in both boxes. How do you defend your box and how do you attack and be clinical in other box? And Fernandes, for me, is something that he's missing. It's a vital ingredient that he needs to produce more clean sheets, and I know there's more players like that, but he needs to be the centre-back, takes the lead and shows that he can get clean sheets. I remember when I was going through the best spell in my career, Paul, and I'd beat at Celtic, and I remember if we scored, I remember thinking we won't lose this game.
Really? Yeah.
Because I knew that my job, it was, and I'm not saying it's a hard job. I felt it was an easier job having played in more forward areas up the pitch. I felt like my job to destroy and to organise my mouth and put people in positions and kick and head out of a box was the easiest part of the game. Yeah. It's harder to create than it is to destroy, and I felt like now we're in the lead, now do my part. Let me keep a clean sheet, and the longer we keep a clean sheet here, the better chance we'll go and score 2 and 3. And I just think that Fernandes needs to step up and be the leader at centre back that's going to really help his team get clean sheets.
Before we finish on Celtic Dundee, who's going to win the championship, Barry? Who do you reckon? I mean, Aidan McGeady, who'll be on tomorrow night with Kevin Kyle, he said the other day, look out for Ayr United. They had a big win at the weekend, 2-0.
I think it's a good appointment. Gary Naismith got Stenhousemuir promoted. So that's a hard one. That's a tough league.
Yeah, he was saying he thinks they'll challenge anyway. Obviously, Livy had a win at the weekend, so joint top, Ayr, Livy, Partick Thistle.
I think it's going to be between the 3.
I'm going to go for Dunfermline. I think when the window finishes, I think they're a wee bit behind in pre-season. I think when the window ends, Dunfermline, I think, are going to win the championship this year.
His legs have gone.
His legs have gone.
Who was it who said
Pirlo.
that? Pirlo. That'll be right. So Aidan will be here tomorrow night along with Kevin. For tonight, Nygren, what a season he had last year.
Brilliant goal contributions. Yep. You could argue about in terms of how he played the midfield role and how he contributed. But in terms of goals last year, he was brilliant, and he'll be looking to continue that this year. I don't know what his plans are in terms of moving on. I'd imagine he's maybe got one eye on that, but Celtic would probably try and keep him for another year, and he needs to continue that goal scoring form, because other than that, there's not a lot he brings in terms, definitely not off the ball, but he contributes in terms in front of goal, and you can't argue with that. So he needs to bring that again. Scoreline tonight, Barry. What do you reckon?
3-1 Celtic.
3-1 to Celtic. What do you think?
I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 Celtic.
And are they going to score early, do you think?
I think they'll score in the first half and then they'll score later on in the game.
Barry, one of the stories today, Cologne favourites to sign Mikey Moore on loan from Spurs. So you'd love to have seen him back at Ibrox.
Yeah, I said a few times last season, I think he come up a boy and returned to Tottenham a man. He was a bright spark for Rangers last season. No doubt about it. The problem you've got is when you get somebody on loan, you're not in control of any situation. Tottenham are in complete control of that, where he goes, and it looks to me if he's heading off to Germany.
I can't believe we've done the show tonight in a sauna.
It's hot here. Yeah, we're on YouTube as well. It's kind of hot.
This is a sauna.
You're just in the t-shirt. Are you in the shorts? No.
This is a standoff to see who can stay here the longest.
And Charlie, Flag Day for you. It's the first time it's been a flag night, but do you remember happy memories of that?
Of course, it's always good, but to be honest with you, the celebrations have been done, Paul. You're now on to the next season, and it's starting again to go right. We need to go again. You need to go again, and that's what Carl McGregor will be massive for. He'll get the players reset, ready to go, and need to start with a win to get moving.
And Barry, for you, you'd be watching it and saying, I want that to be Rangers next season.
It has to. Like, if I was a player, I'd be watching the game the night in anger and think to myself, no, that's not happening this time next season. That's the kind of attitude you have to have, and I would like to think that's the attitude that the Rangers players at this moment in time have.
And you reckon Rangers?
I've got to go with Rangers.
Yeah,
it's still early in the season. Listen, I still believe that there's still major changes going to be made to the squad. It's obvious to see that has to be the case.
And the money's there, isn't it? The 49ers.
And you heard Derek doing his presser after the game against Dundee United. He's like, no begging, but he's saying, listen, you know that I need to get these difference makers in, and hopefully he can get them through the door as quickly as possible because they're needed.
Charlie, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the Commonwealth Games in 4 years' time in India, when we will get you tickets. Listen, thanks so much. We'll be back tomorrow night at 5 with Kevin Kyle and Aidan McGeady. Enjoy the football tonight. We're back tomorrow at 5.